Okay, well this is the technical tour of the studio for all you who are interested in computer-based music and the equipment and the techniques and stuff. If you're not, stop watching now because it's going to be really boring for you. The thing about this place is that unlike my first studio's Genetic, where I did the Human League and altered images and Dexys was done and Madness and loads of other stuff, that cost me like over £1,000,000 and cost an awful amount of money to run. Unlike that, this cost me about £12,000. It's taken me 6 years to gradually put together and develop the techniques and stuff, but that's a lot cheaper. And it's 1,000,000 times more powerful in terms of what I can do. So that's good. So first off, let's have a look at this lot. The studio is basically a hybrid analog digital. So those of you who run Cubase or Nuendo or Logic Audio will be well familiar with this. First thing I got myself was a nice big screen. I'm sure lots of you that work in this fashion know the difficulties of working a big project on a 15-inch monitor. It drives you potty. So I've got a nice big work area there. This screen here contains all my mixers, virtual mixers, so they don't get in the way of that, and my transport controls, so that's really cool. And then I've got a screen to my left, and on there I've got my plugins, virtual instruments, wave editing I do on there. So I've always got my main work area free, and I'll see what I'm doing. Okay, I've got a bank of computers, right? In fact, I'll move back out of the way, they roll on here. This is the digital audio workstation, which is my main machine. That's got hammerful, 24 light pipe outputs, which decodes through my Mackie hard disk recorder, which is the best A to D, D to A converter I've ever come across. Plus it's got hard disk recording functions, so I can record on it, USB the files into Nuendo, and away you go. So that's really cool. Second computer is master computer. That's what I master onto, edit the remixes on in SoundForge, and takes the load off DAW. So that's all, that cops all the mixes which come analog out of my Mackie 32 channel board and then straight into there. Then I've got a utility machine that basically runs Windows 98, believe it or not, although I think it's Millennia. The reason for that is I've got a bit of software called Autoscore, which I can sing into the machine, turns it into a MIDI file, which is very useful. It also controls my MIDI system. I've got a Motu MIDI timepiece, it runs that, and all my uninterruptible power supplies. In case I get a power cut, I don't lose my work. I've got a second DAW, digital audio workstation, which backs me out if that one goes down, which it does sometimes. Then I've got my video machine, that's all video editing and generally graphics work. Although all these other machines can run as virtual instruments if I want them to, if I need to take the load off the main system. Then I've got 3 Macs. I've got 2 G4s and a titanium laptop, and they run virtual plugins. Again, I mean, if any of you've got Altiverb, you know it eats your processor, right? So basically I send out the signals to them here, mount Altiverb in it or any other hungry processor programs, and then fly it back in analog, and that works great. Okay, up the back, that's my back speakers for my 5.1 system. This is my mobile area. So this is my laptop that I take out DJing and mobile recording. I've got a little keyboard that I take out with me so I can MIDI program when I'm out and about, and the back here is all mobile stuff. And I've got a nice Logitech sound system that runs straight off the laptop. Okay, keyboard area. So MIDI keyboards, I'm getting a new one soon. Then I'll only need the one. I use this one. This is my main programming keyboard, which feeds the MIDI, but it also feeds this, so I've got a guide sound of whatever I'm programming, because I'm sure some of you are aware of the problems of latency, and I it that, and the note comes half an hour later. So if I'm doing strings, I get a rough string sound here. I might have string samples in contact, and I can hear this in time, and then when I play it back, of course, the latency problem disappears. DJ mixer up here, A few little old-fashioned analog things that I use quite a lot on my deck. Mini disc recorders, CD players, all that usual old rubbish, CD recorder. Then, moving around, patch bay, old-fashioned analog patch bay. I've got a lot of analog processors that I can fly into the mix, and flexibility is the key, because when you come up with a creative idea, you don't want to be stuck fighting equipment. You've got to take it out, re-plug it and all that. So having a big patch bay so you can plug anything to anything is really useful. That's my room graphic equalizer at the top. Do not touch under any circumstances. And at least this A to D converter, which I use for converting the output of the console into a hammerfall on the master machine when I'm mastering, and a light pipe patch bay, so I can patch all my light pipes around wherever I want. MIDI timepiece, it controls my MIDI system and routing, and then I've got two of these new Lexicon NX200s. Now if you haven't seen these are amazing. Each of these boxes is 2 effects processors in one. You've got a load of presets which you can modify. Every preset you can store up to 99 variations of. They are 150 quid or something. They are the greatest thing ever made. Beneath that I've got Lexicon MPX1, the classic, Digitech Studio V2. That does me for effects. I've got a Casio Q-Verb over the other side, which I use because there's a couple of nice sounds in it. That's about it. My surround sound amp, noise gates, cloud compressor, DBX compressor, and my Lisa's Q-Verb, and a Behringer effects unit, noise gates and compressors. Behringer gear, although it's cheap, is very, very good value for money. I'm telling you that. I mean, I've got my son has a right go at me, so I want to have Behringer in the place, but actually, you know, it's very, very good. These particularly are great. These are MIDI controllers. They're easy to use. They're like 50 quid each or something, and they run Nuendo faders and everything beautifully, so I really recommend that. This is really good as well. This is a super shifter by Boss. It's a sort of harmonizer-y type thing, and for the money it's amazing. Get some really cool effects out of that one. Now up here, each of my machines has got a USB hub on it, and this effectively is a USB patch bay, so I can patch all sorts of different things to different machines. Again, flexibility. And then a bank of USB hard drives. They're all over the place, which I back up all my stuff on. I've got my WAV libraries, my contact library, sample disk libraries. It's all very, very flexible. And then over here, I occasionally master onto this. This is an M Audio. These are brilliant as well, Microtrack. They are incredible. I take them out for live recording. It's stereo. You can record WAV up to 96k, it says sampling rate. They are incredible. For the money, brilliant. And then a Focusrite liquid mix, which is awesome, and emulates all the old-fashioned EQs and compressors, and it really does work. It's amazing. So that's pretty much about it. Yeah, it is really. So I love being in here. I spend my whole life in here. It's terrible. I mean, you know, and I'm at home, so I've always got time with my family, and I'm a very happy man. And good luck. And if you've got any more questions about it, or any specifics you want to know, send me an email and I'll get back to you. Bye.